Pattern recognition is crucial. In the Great Awakening, if you really are trying to find truth, it's not always going to be spelled out. You're not always going to be able to go to somebody's claim or to go to what somebody's teaching you or trying to help you see and just whine about sources and try and ridicule your way into the right answers. Some of these things, like I say, have got to be navigated with your heart, with some common sense, and with your soul, so to speak. I've been very grateful, been very, very lucky, so to speak, to have very good sources throughout all this and have some really good sources. And pattern recognition is crucial. And because of that, myself and a lot of my friends that I follow have put some things together over the last couple of days that I feel like I had to bring to you guys today. You're going to want to hear this. Some of this is going to be repetitive, but with a whole new twist of things that are coming out and things that are becoming more and more apparent by the day as this goes on, as the Great Awakening transpires. I'm Jared, this is RedRacer Video. I'm a former car vlogger. Now I'm an independent citizen journalist, thanks to you, the viewers. A little while back, you guys told me that I should make a run at this. This should be my thing. I started doing that. I opened Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo accounts. And since that time, you guys have shown a outpouring of support. You quite literally bring this channel. You make this possible. This is my job, and you are the income. If you watch this video and you see value, please consider supporting the channel down below at one of the links, Patreon, PayPal, or Venmo. If you like the shirt, consider buying it at RedRacerVideo.com. We will touch on that again as this video transpires. Let's dive into today's video though, guys. As I said, there's been a lot going on recently, and another thing that happened yesterday, but some patterns are definitely emerging. There's things that are happening that you just can't ignore anymore. And to everybody out there that really doesn't want to believe this stuff, mostly for self-preservation, I get it. You just don't want to believe your whole life's been a lie and you've been living an illusion. I understand. A lot of us have already been through that stage. That's not a fun stage to be in. what's the word I'm looking for? I don't envy you. I'm not wanting to be in your position by any stretch. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Another little plug. Go get my t-shirt. But I get what you're going through, right? So as we're going through this though, there's things I've got to point out. So I'm going to start today's video by saying that John Lewis, we talked about this a little bit in my last video, passed away, a politician that, as far as I heard, the first person to publicly give the guy or mention the guy during a hearing that was pretty big and pretty talked about recently was a Republican. But he was a Democratic representative that passed away recently. Timing of it was a little weird. I don't want to go down a whole other rabbit hole, so I want to be selective about how I say this. A lot of these deaths or passings of people are not deaths or passings. These are people that are dying. And this is just my speculation. So to the people that will say, sources, I'm not giving you sources. I've got a lot of them. Hashtag link in description. Every video I make, there's description underneath. You click show more or a down arrow, and there is a plethora of information in there. A lot of times it'll have a specific video that I have referenced in my video, but in almost every scenario, actually in every scenario, it's got a list of channels I think you should go follow. A couple of channels you should go follow, and also a couple of documentaries that you should go and watch. One being a series. Actually, I think they're both series. One's one part, or maybe one part and one's 10 part. But a bunch of stuff in there you guys need to go watch. But to everybody out that's going to say, proof please, whatever please, stick with me for a minute, okay? Again, shout out to Dave at X22 Report for putting some of this stuff together for me in today's video. I wanted to make this, and then as happenstance would have it, I watched Dave's video and he cemented what I wanted to do, because part of me wasn't sure I had the things lined up. As always, Dave comes through. So John Lewis's funeral seems like a really weird time for Barack Obama to get up and use that as a platform for politics, right? Well, he did it anyway. As a lot of you have probably seen, Barack Obama got up and thought it'd be a good time to tell everybody about mail-in voting and about how our President Donald Trump is trying to destroy the integrity of our elections and that people need to be focused on mail-in voting. How is that even something that got brought up at this dude's funeral? How, Barack? Why? I mean, this is what I find funny. They are so screwed right now. And getting back to what I was saying about the timing of the funeral, this death just so happened to be prequel. Is that a word? Is that how you do that? Before that, people were doing tweets and messages about their dogs. And as it turns out, Q has told us that every time they start tweeting about a dog being lost or a dog dying, there's an event coming or a funeral. There's somebody dying that it means something, and they're calming or communicating to people to watch out for this, or that it's going to trigger something, or that something's coming behind it. So after, and I don't remember who it was that said this, Ellen or something about their dog dying. Right after that, there's a funeral. At this funeral, Barack Obama goes out of his way to push the mail-in voting thing. I find it funny that they're in so much trouble politically right now that they need to use a funeral as their opportunity to push their political agenda. That is low. That's low even for Barack Obama. Sorry, I forget you guys know him as Barack Obama. That's low even for him. Can you say panicked? Do you think they're panicked? I think they're absolutely panicked, like crapping in their pants panicked. I want to talk about something else. I talked a little bit about the people that get hung up on sources. This is going to be, I'll try to go through this a little bit. There's some things I really want to spell out for people on this channel to maybe help you in future videos, maybe help me, maybe help both of us, hopefully. Hopefully this is mutually beneficial. People get really hung up, like I said, on sources. And I think people are becoming blatantly ignorant to things that are right underneath their noses. And this goes back to what I said in the opener about things being right under your noses and people just being so hung up on things that it's standing in the way, right? I'm going to give an example here. I had a post on Instagram, real quick plug for Instagram, at RedRacer Video on Instagram. Go check me out there. If you don't, also go follow at The Bakery, TheBakery. Follow all the people in the bakery as well. Everyone in there, very on this thing. Their heart is in the right place, and they are doing what I'm doing, which is try to bring everybody to the light. That's the whole goal. Getting back to it though, in Instagram, I posted a post that said, it was a meme, that said, BLM supporters have now killed more blacks in a month than police have in 35 years. I'm going to reread that one more time. BLM supporters have now killed more blacks in a month than the police have in 30 years. Real quickly, everybody's going to say, man, why do you keep making it about race? Don't fall into that trap. I'm not making it about race. I'm bringing this up to point out how absolutely asinine it is that anyone supports BLM. And there are a lot of people that support BLM, and this kind of feeds into what I'm going to say in a second too. Think about all the people that support BLM, all the athletes that have come out in support of it. All the little flipping soccer moms that don't know any better that posted a black screen on their page because they thought that made them woke that day. All the people who support BLM, right? Think of that. BLM supporters have now killed more blacks in a month than the police have in 35 years. All kinds of supporters out there. Like I said, soccer moms all the way down to gangsters on the streets of Chicago. Those people support BLM too. Those people also want police defunded, and they want them to go away, and they think that BLM and the reparations and all that, right? They're all supporters. Let's keep going. I had somebody comment that said that I needed to provide sources in my thing, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the guy basically said, what sources do you have to prove that this is right? If this is right, I'd love to share it, but you have to provide sources on this one. I wrote back, and this is kind of my response. Again, I'm paraphrasing. I said, again, I want to read this to you one more time, too. BLM supporters have now killed more blacks in a month than I'm really struggling, than police have in 35 years. So I wrote back and said this, and I wrote back and said this to a couple of people, because I had a couple of people hit me with the sources. No. This is one I shouldn't even have to do sources. If we were reading, just like if we were listening with the intent to understand and not with the intent to respond, if we were reading with the intent to understand, BLM supporters have now killed. I didn't just say BLM. The meme didn't just say BLM. It said BLM supporters. Again, Who all supports BLM? All the thugs that are shooting up Chicago. A lot of people who just don't know better. But a lot of them are paid and funded by the DNC, by Soros, paid agitators, instigators, rioters, looters. They are supporters of BLM. And yes, they have absolutely killed more blacks in the last month than police have in 35 years. Go look at how many people get killed in one night on the streets of Chicago and New York right now. And I'm sure I'm missing cities that are also absolute war zones. I said all of that to illustrate this. The people in my comments are more concerned with just being right. They just want to prove RedRacer wrong on this one. It's not productive. First of all, you're not gonna. I'm not always right. I step on stuff once in a while. Like every now and again, I step right into a pile of crap. It happens. But I'm not on this one. And what I said or what the meme said was solid. But again, all these people are so hung up on just being right anymore. It seems like that's all it turns into. It's like just one big online argument with people. That's not what this is. This is not an online argument. This is a freaking life we're talking about. Stop. There was nothing productive happening between us going back and forth on where my sources were. If we would just step back and think, it's really not a stretch at all. Anybody with a functional brain or a desire to seek the truth and not just look for an argument to win online would be able to see that that meme was absolutely accurate. So I'm gonna leave there. I know I went off on that. I know you guys hate when I give haters love or when I give haters attention, but I'm saying all that to go one more step here. Hold on. When you make such demands of somebody, when you guys go onto a page, or when not you guys, but when somebody who's needs the minutia broken down for them, right? A couple of things I want to say about that. When someone comes to like my page and says, you have to bring fact after fact after fact, or this is not. No. What those people are trying to do is discredit pages like myself or people like myself a number of ways. One, they're trying to make it so that I spend... This stuff is not easy. Staying up on this information is not easy. If I just spent... If I had to go and source every single link, every article, everything that I heard in the day and a half leading up to me making a video, if you guys had any idea the research that went into this, if I was going to source and link every single thing that I did, I would never, ever get to upload a video. So two things. To the people that say sources or it's a lie, don't believe me, I don't care. Actually, three things. Don't believe me, I don't care. Two, if you need it broken down for you that much, that is an obvious admission of your lack of interest in what's going on. And it shows us how little you actually follow what's going on. Okay? Three, the third thing I'm going to say, I'm going to repeat what I said a few minutes ago in every video. I almost beg you guys, please, in the description, after I beg you to support the channel at Patreon, PayPal, or Venmo, I then almost beg you to go and explore the links that are in the description. Watch the X22 report. A lot longer videos, but packed full of the information that some of you guys need. More minutia, more broken down. Really takes you back and example after example after example that I'm just not going to do for time purposes and for other purposes. Dave's mission is different than mine. Different business models. I'm kind of more just the guy you're going to have to believe a little bit. Okay? But trust that I've got good sources, and again, they're in the description. Speaking of what I was saying, let's get back into all the notes that I have and everything that's right under our noses, okay? Do you not think that it's a little bit of a coinkydink that all the people that hate Donald Trump and have just been screaming at the top of their lungs about how badly they hate Donald Trump over the past 4.5 years, probably almost 5 now, because everybody kind of knew he was going to run, right? Leading up, there was big hype around it. Isn't it funny that all those people are all being pictured now in Epstein's flight logs? And now it's not like a rumor. And keeping in mind all the rumors, all the stuff that Q and the Q-tards have been telling you for quite a while that were all conspiracy theories not very long ago, they're by the day coming true. The Ghislaine Maxwell stuff is blowing holes in this stuff by the day. All the things that are happening with the royal family, Prince Henry or whatever his name is. What's the other prince? The other one that was Epstein's buddy. It's just all the CEOs stepping down, the Disney stuff, the Petalwood. If you folks, this goes back to one of the things I said in the opener. If we can't develop, and I understand some people have it better than others, and I'm not judging anybody out there who's not as involved in this stuff as I am. And in fairness, I'm not saying I'm smarter than you guys. I don't have better pattern recognition than, and if I do, well, I do. Okay. I'm going to give myself some credit here. I do. There's stuff that I'm watching happening that to me, I'm just like, duh. This is obvious. How do people not see this? I sometimes have to reel myself in and remember that I don't have a job besides this. This is my job, and this is where I spend my 8 to 10 hours a day. Not in front of this camera, because I usually make these in like 1 to 2 takes. But I spend my time behind a computer just buried in this stuff. So having said that, I'm probably recognizing these patterns better than a lot of people because I'm seeing the patterns over and over and over and over, where most people are just seeing, and giving Donald Trump Jr. a little bit of credit here, most people are just seeing the little 5 to 10 or 15 minutes they get every day of news because they're going to work, waking up, trying to maybe hit the gym, get physically fit a little, get off that Christmas weight even though it's the middle of summer, go to their job every day, get done with their job, get home, try and spend some time with the family, kick the dog or whatever. And I don't mean that literally. I love my dang dog. By that I mean love the dog, whatever. Spend some time with your wife. Find out how your kids' days went. Get that chore done at home you've been waiting to get done. And still find a way to catch a little bit of the news of what's going on. And then when they do, that news is absolutely just lying to them. And they don't have the time to go and do the research. That's why I try to keep my videos at like 15, 16, 17 minutes. I can see this one's getting long. I'm going to start flying. But pattern recognition is crucial, guys. You got to start seeing the coincidences and stop dismissing all of them as coincidences, because it is all right here. All right here. There are people that are still waiting for the news to flash it across their screen one day. All the stuff we've been saying that's happening, it's never going to happen. You're going to have to keep watching channels like this, because the mainstream media is never going to tell you what happens. You know what else isn't going to happen? They're not going to tell you guys who the attorney is on the new unmasking. Going back to my shirt, odd that I'm wearing this shirt today, the General Flynn unmasking. I told you guys in a video the other day, AG Barr said, oh, by the way, what's his face? Durham actually isn't even looking into the unmasking anymore. I got somebody else to do that. And the Congress or the representatives are like, oh man, this is news. Who's doing it? And he said, John Bash. Again, X22 report, link in the description. He brought up the fact that John Bash just so happens to be an attorney that has a history. Some people that he's represented are pretty big. I think his wife actually is, I could be wrong. Somebody in the comments correct me on this one. His wife is like an assistant or was helping. She was involved in somehow. Dang it. The other guy they tried to attack, the other guy, there's the judge. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyways, this dude knows people, and he's clearly connected. And he is just so happens that he's got case after case after case after case in the last like 4 years dealing with child pornography. So the same attorney that AG Barr assigned to all the unmasking, because there was like countless unmasking. Originally, we thought it was like 40 unmaskings in a short period of time. Now they've admitted, oh no, there was way more unmasking than that and way over a way bigger period of time. And the attorney that's looking into that just so happens to also be an expert in child pornography cases. Again, little pattern recognition here, guys. Why would that be, do you think? Do you think it's crazy to think that maybe, just maybe, John Bash, the attorney that's looking into this unmasking, that just so happens to also have a lot of history and a lot of experience in child pornography cases, do you think it's maybe because a lot of those people that were unmasking Flynn are the very same people that went to this island? And if they're not the very same people that went to the island, do you not think that maybe they are absolutely in cahoots with the people who are on that island? I don't think that's a stretch at all. Not at all at all. And I think that's where, again, if you're just paying attention to this stuff more than like 4 seconds a day when you're scrolling through Facebook or whatever, this is all stuff that's kind of becoming blatantly apparent. At least to me and to a lot of the people that I respect. Speaking of wholly unmasking thing, and this is what I'm going to try to finish on if I can be this quick here. Fauci's now telling everybody that not only do we have to wear masks, now we need to wear goggles and a face shield. Keeping in mind that Fauci's the same dude who laughingly said people shouldn't be wearing masks. Same guy just a couple months ago laughing about people wearing masks. This is to keep us in fear. This whole mask push right now is to keep us in fear. They know they're losing control of the virus narrative. They know that everybody is seeing that hospitals are fudging their numbers and that testing centers are fudging their numbers and that tests went out with false positives and that they've tested fruit that have come back positive. They've tested goats that have come back positive. There are zero, and I'm not making this up, for all my sources people out there, go use your fingers and use Google or DuckDuckGo. But there are zero controlled studies to this point that show that masks work. But believe it or not, craziest thing ever, there actually are studies that show that they don't work. Weird. David X22 brought up something that I thought was very, very solid also. Maybe, just maybe, Fauci's sending a signal out to rioters and looters about wearing goggles and a face shield so they can't get pepper sprayed or tear gassed. Maybe, just maybe, Fauci and Fauci's people, because we know he's one of the bad guys, maybe they're using comms and that's their way to tell people it's time for the next round of riots. It's time for the next false flag. Why are they trying so hard to quell the HCQ information? Why are they deleting accounts of doctors? Why are all of my friends from the bakery, they're sending me screenshot after screenshot of their pages being locked up. They can't comment, they can't like, people can't find their stuff's just getting deleted. The doctors that are telling us the truth about HCQ that have physically, with their own eyes, have actually treated patients with it, seen them get better. A lot of these doctors are saying 100% it works. Use it with azithromycin and some zinc, boom, biggity bam, fixed. They go on camera and say that, they get fired, they get deleted off social media, and anybody who shares their stuff gets deleted. Open up your eyes, guys. It's also funny that Fauci just so happens to have a vested interest in a therapeutic remedy for the flu, remdesivir, that just so happens to be like $1,000 a pill, when HCQ is like 86 cents a pill, and the azithromycin or whatever is like 36 cents a pill. I'm probably off by a few cents, and I'll probably get crucified by a liberal in the comments, but I know I'm close. It's literally like a little over $1 for the stuff that we know is like 100%, or $1,000 a pill for this stuff that maybe works, but Fauci's going to get rich off of it. One more thing to note before we go, Fauci also just so happens to be getting hugely rich off of vaccines that are being produced, and he also just so happens to be a guy that's very much pushing vaccines. There's countless info out there about HCQ being good, and countless doctors signing up, petitions, everything. The only stuff that they can use to say that it is bad has been debunked, and some of it has even been retracted. The Lancet report was one of the things they used in the beginning to swear by. That's been debunked and retracted. And there was another report they all used that has been retracted. There are no controlled studies where they can prove any of this stuff is right, guys. Open your flippin' eyes. Buy one of my shirts. $17 plus shipping, free shipping over $50, anywhere in the lower 48, RedRacerVideo.com. We're going to have more options later. These ones I got for $17, a nice, like a spun cotton. These are nicer than like the cheap, crappy Gildan shirts that I bought when I was doing Red Racer stuff. If you don't wear this shirt, still start repping this unmasked logo or start repping this unmasked motto. This is nothing more than them driving fear. This is nothing more than them pushing mail-in votes. They got to keep the economy down. They got to get Donald Trump out. And to do that, they got to get us to do mail-in votes so they can steal mail-in votes. The last thing I'll tell you guys, look on Instagram at RedRacer Video. I'm going to go post it. There's a dude floating around, and a lot of you guys have probably already seen it. Someone else posted on Instagram in case I stoner moment and forget. There's a guy who went to 100 different post office boxes and put in ballots. Then we're all in this one area, and then went to that post office later. They tried to act like they didn't even have them. He threw a fit. They eventually found almost all of them. 3 of them they'd already garbaged because they couldn't even find. And the ones that they had to really try hard to find, what were they going to do with those ones? Open your eyes. We are at war. Information war. This is your war. Your voice matters. Where we go one, we go all. One more time, at RedRacer Video. Sorry, not at RedRacer Video. RedRacerVideo.com if you like the shirts. If you saw value in today's video, Patreon, PayPal, Venmo in the description. Help me out. Thank you to everybody that's helping me make this my work. I love you guys all. I'll see you tomorrow, RedRacer Video.